the empire that never fell for thousands of years. The Galactic Empire ruled the stars, its fleets were endless, its weapons were feared. Its name alone was enough to make planets surrender. No one remembered the first war of the Empire, because no one survived long enough to tell the story. Every race that resisted was erased. Every system that refused was turned into dust. The Empire believed it was eternal, and the galaxy agreed. In the great halls of the Imperial Core, leaders spoke with calm voices. They talked about trade. They talked about expansion. They talked about control. There was no fear in their words, because fear had no place in an empire that never lost. On the edge of Imperial space, long-range scanners detected a strange signal. It was weak, it was slow, and it did not follow any known Empire code. The officers laughed. Another lost ship. Another small race trying to explore beyond its limits. The signal moved closer, crossing a forbidden border. A border marked with warnings and death. Still, the object did not stop. The Empire sent a patrol fleet. Just 3 ships, because more was not needed. As the patrol approached, they saw it clearly. A single ship, small, rough, with a simple design, no heavy armor, no massive weapons, no sign of advanced technology. The officers laughed again. They opened a communication channel. No threats were sent. Because threats were not needed, the unknown ship responded. The voice was calm, clear, and confident. It did not beg. It did not fear. It did not bow. The message was short. We are Terrans. We come in peace, but we will not kneel. The patrol commander felt something strange. Not fear, but confusion. No race ever spoke like this. No ship ever crossed Imperial space without shaking. The commander ordered the Terran ship to stop. The order was ignored. The Terran ship continued forward, slow, steady, unchanging. The patrol prepared weapons. Power levels rose. Target locks engaged. Still, the Terran ship did nothing. In the Imperial Core, news of the encounter arrived. The leaders listened with boredom. Another small incident. Another lesson to teach. They approved force. The patrol fired a warning shot. A beam strong enough to destroy cities. The beam hit the Terran ship. Light filled space. Energy exploded outward. When the light faded, the Terran ship was still there. No damage, no retreat, no panic. Silence followed. For the first time in centuries, an Imperial weapon had failed. The Terran ship finally changed course. Not to flee, but to face the patrol directly. A second message was sent. You fired first. This is your mistake. The patrol commander opened his mouth to respond, but before he could speak, the Terran ship powered up something new. The scanners screamed warnings. Data flooded the screens. Energy readings climbed beyond known limits. In the Imperial Core, alarms began to sound. Leaders stood from their seats, faces losing color. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Because the Empire had ruled the galaxy without challenge, and now, one small Terran ship stood in its space. Unafraid, unbroken, and ready. And the Empire did not yet understand that this was not an invasion. This was an arrival. First contact. First mistake. The patrol commander stared at the Terran ship. His hands were tight on the control panel. This was not how first contact was supposed to feel. Imperial ships had always been the strongest. Their weapons never failed. Their enemies never survived. Yet the Terran ship floated there. Silent, calm, almost patient. The commander ordered all weapons ready. Energy cores hummed. Cannons charged. Missiles locked on target. Still, the Terran ship did not move. Inside the Terran vessel, the crew worked without panic. Their faces were focused. Their voices were steady. No one shouted. No one rushed. The Terran captain watched the enemy ships on the main screen. 3 Imperial vessels. Large, heavy, confident. He gave a simple command. Hold position. The Empire fired again, this time with full power. A storm of energy crossed the space between them. The attack hit the Terran ship directly. Sensors flared. Light burned bright. Then the storm ended. The Terran shields held, not cracked, not weakened, not even shaking. The Imperial officers stared at their screens. Weapons that destroyed worlds had done nothing. The patrol commander felt fear for the first time in his life. Real fear, cold and sharp. He demanded answers. How is this possible? The Terran captain responded calmly. We listened. We watched. We learned. The Empire tried to block the signal, but the Terran transmission continued. For many years, you ruled by force. You believed no one was watching. You were wrong. The Terrans explained they studied Imperial battles. They studied wrecks left behind. They studied survivors who escaped destruction. They did not copy Imperial technology. They improved it. The Empire attacked again. Desperation replacing pride. The Terran captain gave a single order. Return fire. 1 Terran. Weapon activated. Small. Focused. Precise. A thin beam struck the nearest Imperial ship. There was no explosion. No fire. The ship simply stopped. Its lights went dark. Its systems died. Moments later, the massive Imperial vessel broke apart, as if gravity itself had turned against it. The other 2 Imperial ships tried to retreat, but their engines failed. Their controls froze. The Terrans did not chase. They did not finish them. Instead, the Terran ship moved closer. A final message was sent. Go back. Tell your empire, we do not seek war, but we will not be ruled. The damaged Imperial ships limped away, sending emergency signals, carrying fear across the stars. In the Imperial core, the report caused chaos. Officers argued, leaders shouted. Screens replayed the impossible battle, again and again. 1 Terran ship against Imperial power, and it won. The Empire declared the Terrans a threat. All borders were sealed, fleets were prepared, but deep inside, the leaders knew the truth. This was not a random encounter. This was not luck. This was a warning. The Empire believed it made the first strike, but in reality, it made the first mistake, because the Terrans had shown restraint, and restraint was more dangerous than anger. As Imperial fleets began to move, the Terrans were already preparing, and the galaxy was about to learn that humans did not fight to dominate, they fought to end fear. The day humans fought back, the Empire did not wait. Fear turned into anger, anger turned into action. From the Imperial core, orders were sent across the stars, all fleets were called, all weapons were armed. The Terran threat had to be erased. Hundreds of Imperial ships moved together, their formation was perfect, their confidence forced, their pride wounded. They believed numbers would win. At the edge of Terran space, human commanders watched quietly. They did not shout, they did not panic. They had expected this moment. Terran ships moved into position, not in tight formations, but in flexible groups, each ship knowing its role. The human admiral studied the enemy, large ships, heavy armor, predictable movement. He gave a calm order. Begin Phase 1. The Terran fleet did not rush forward. Instead, small, fast ships moved first, dancing around Imperial lines. Imperial weapons fired wildly, missing targets, wasting energy. The Terran ships struck supply vessels, communication relays, navigation, ships. The Empire felt confusion. Orders crossed, signals failed. Human ships worked together, sharing data instantly, adapting with every second. When an Imperial ship changed tactics, the Terrans changed faster. The Empire tried to regroup. Heavy battleships moved to the front. That was when the Terrans attacked directly. Human weapons were simple, no massive explosions, no bright displays, but they were precise. Imperial shields failed, one by one, not broken by force, but by overload. Terran ships targeted weak points, places the Empire never thought to protect. Large Imperial ships began to fall, some drifting, some tearing apart. The Empire finally understood. This was not brute strength, this was intelligence. Human pilots protected each other. They pulled damaged ships away. They covered retreats. Imperial captains watched in disbelief. The Terrans did not abandon their own. The battles spread across space. Hours passed. Losses grew. The Empire had never fought a war like this. Then something worse happened. Terran reinforcements arrived. Not from one direction, but from many. New ships entered the battle. Different designs, different sizes. The human admiral sent a message. This is our defense fleet. The Empire realized the truth. They had not reached the heart of Terran power. Panic spread. Orders changed again. Retreat was discussed. The Empire attempted a final push. All remaining ships charged forward. The Terrans answered together. Human ships, linked systems. Power flowed between them. Weapons fired as one. The Imperial line collapsed. Formation broke. Control was lost. When the fighting ended, the battlefield was silent. Imperial wrecks floated through space, once symbols of fear, now broken shadows. The Terrans did not chase fleeing ships. They did not celebrate. They rescued survivors, even enemies, across the galaxy. Hidden observers watched, racers long ruled by fear, ratios long silenced. They saw something new. Humans did not fight for conquest, they fought for survival, they fought for each other. As the damaged Imperial fleet retreated, a final Terran message followed them. Tell your empire, this was only the beginning, and in the dark halls of Imperial space, leaders understood too late, the day humans fought back was the day the Empire began to fall. Fear inside the Empire entered the Empire quietly, not through weapons, but through doubt. Imperial fleets returned damaged and broken. Stories spread faster than orders. Stories of Terran ships. Stories of human tactics. Stories of defeat. For the first time in history, Imperial citizens questioned their rulers. Inside the Imperial core, leaders argued. Some demanded more war. Some demanded stronger weapons. None spoke of peace. They could not, because fear ruled them now. Across the galaxy, smaller races watched closely. They had lived under Imperial control for generations, their worlds taxed, their people enslaved, their voices silenced. Now they saw the Empire bleed. Terran fleets did not advance in conquest. They moved with care, targeting only military positions. When humans entered controlled systems, they did not destroy cities, they did not claim resources. They opened prisons, they freed captives, they repaired damaged stations. The people watched in disbelief. This was not how empires behaved. Terran commanders spoke directly to local leaders. We are not your masters, we are your shield. Hope spread where fear once lived. Imperial governors tried to stop the news. They blocked transmissions, they punished speakers. But truth moved faster than control. Entire systems refused. Imperial orders, supply lines weakened, taxes stopped flowing. The Empire responded with threats. But threats no longer worked. In secret meetings, Imperial generals discussed a final solution. A weapon never used before, a weapon of absolute destruction, the Star Breaker. It was designed to end wars instantly, to erase entire systems, to remind the galaxy who ruled. Many feared using it, but fear of humans was greater. Construction resumed in hidden space. Energy was gathered. Time was short. The Terrans learned of the weapon through freed allies. Information shared willingly. Trust built through action. Human leaders listened carefully. They did not panic. The Terran admiral gave a quiet command. Prepare for worst case. Meanwhile, Imperial fear turned inward. Accusations spread. Officers blamed each other. Loyalty cracked. Some Imperial worlds rebelled openly, their defense fleets refusing to fire on humans. The Empire answered with force, destroying its own people. This act changed everything. Neutral systems took sides. Most chose the Terrans, because humans protected life, while the Empire destroyed it in the Imperial core. Alarms rang constantly. The illusion of control was gone. The leaders looked at star maps, seeing red lights fade, seeing power slip away. One voice finally spoke. The truth. We cannot win this with fleets. Silence followed. The Starbreaker was their last hope. Deep in Terran space, human fleets prepared, not for conquest, but for defense. They knew the Empire would strike without mercy. As the weapon neared completion, Imperial commanders smiled again. They believed fear could be restored. They were wrong. Because fear had already changed sides, and when the Empire prepared to destroy stars, humans prepared to save them. The next move would decide the fate of the galaxy. The last weapon, the Empire, placed all its hope in one weapon, the Starbreaker. It was hidden far from normal space, built in silence, powered by captured suns. Imperial leaders believed this weapon would end the war. One strike, one system erased, and fear would return. The Starbreaker was activated. Its core began to glow. Energy levels climbed beyond safe limits. The target was chosen carefully. A populated world, protected by Terran fleets. The message was clear. Submit or lose everything. Terran sensors detected the energy surge. Human analysts understood immediately. This was not a threat. This was execution. The Terran Command Council gathered, faces serious, voices calm. The human admiral spoke quietly. We cannot let this fire. A direct attack would fail. The weapon was too strong, too well protected. A different plan was needed. Small Terran ships were selected. Fast, light, and hard to detect. Volunteers stepped forward. Pilots, engineers, soldiers. They knew the risk. They accepted it without hesitation. The Terran fleet moved to distract Imperial forces. Large ships engaged the outer defenses, drawing attention. Meanwhile, the small ships slipped through shadows, using debris, using silence. Imperial scanners failed to notice them. Inside the Starbreaker, systems hummed. Crew members celebrated early. They believed victory was already won. The Terran strike team breached the outer hull, cutting through metal, moving quickly. Fighting inside was close and brutal. Hallways filled with smoke. Alarms screamed. Terrans advanced step by step, protecting each other, never leaving anyone behind. They reached the core chamber, where energy twisted space itself. The plan was simple. Overload the control system. Force shutdown. Imperial guards attacked desperately, but it was too late. The Terrans completed the sequence. The Starbreaker began to collapse. Energy surged. Out of control, the strike team sent one final signal. Mission complete. Terran command ordered retreat, but not everyone could escape. Several ships stayed behind, holding passengers, buying time. The weapon imploded, not in destruction, but in containment. The captured energy vanished into space. The stars were safe. Terran ships escaped with damage and loss. Across the galaxy, news spread. The Empire's greatest weapon was gone. Imperial leaders screamed in rage, their final hope destroyed. But something else spread faster. Respect. The freed racers saw what humans sacrificed. Lives given, not for conquest, but for protection. The Empire tried to hide the failure, but Rakich told the truth. The Starbreaker was defeated. Terran fleets did not cheer. They mourned. Names were recorded, honors given. The human admiral looked toward the Imperial core, the last stronghold. He spoke softly. The war ends soon, because without fear, without superweapons, the Empire stood alone, and the final chapter was approaching. The fall of the Empire. The Empire stood alone. Its fleets were broken, its weapons destroyed, its fear exposed. The Imperial core had never been threatened before. Massive defenses surrounded it, walls of steel and energy. Now Terran fleets arrived, not in chaos, but in order. Human ships formed a wide circle, leaving space open, a sign, not of attack, but of choice. Inside the core, Imperial leaders watched in silence. They expected fire. They expected revenge. It did not come. A Terran message filled the chamber, clear and calm. This war can end now. We did not come to destroy you. We came to stop you. The Empire responded with anger, with pride, with old threats. The Terran admiral listened, then answered simply, "You already lost." Imperial defenses powered up. One last show of strength. Terran ships did not move. Instead, Allied fleets arrived, freed races, former subjects. Standing beside humanity, the Empire saw the truth. It no longer ruled the galaxy. Power drained from Imperial systems, sabotaged from within. Abandoned by loyalists, the leaders argued again, but there was nothing left to argue about. An Imperial general stepped forward, voice shaking. "We surrender." The words echoed, ending centuries of fear. Terran forces entered the core carefully, weapons lowered, eyes alert. There was no destruction, no executions. Imperial leaders were arrested, not killed, not humiliated. They were judged. Across the galaxy, celebrations began, not loud, but relieved. Prisons were opened, fleets stood down, borders dissolved. Human representatives met with other races, listening first, speaking second. A new council was formed, not ruled by fear, but by agreement. The Terrans refused the title of rulers. They chose guardians. The galaxy learned something important. Power can destroy, but it cannot protect forever. The Empire ruled by force. Humans ruled by trust. Monuments were built, not to victory, but to sacrifice. Names of the fallen were remembered, stories shared. The Terran admiral stood once more before the stars, the same stars once feared. He spoke, quietly, "We are not perfect, but we will stand." The Empire that never fell, finally did. Not because of stronger weapons, but because of stronger values. And in the silence after the war, the galaxy understood. Humanity did not rise to rule. Humanity rose to protect. And for the first time in history, the future felt free.